I'm Abi-Gaye Smythe. I'm 25 years old and I'm living with arrhythmogenic right ventricular dysplasia. This is a rare and progressive heart disease that affects the right side of the heart. So basically the right side of my heart doesn't work properly. The right ventricular wall is thin. I have 2 leaking valves. My heart is a little big and my heart races fast to the point where it can send me into cardiac arrest at any time. I've been having signs and symptoms since I was 7. But I wasn't diagnosed until I was 19 years old, because over the years I wasn't diagnosed or misdiagnosed because doctors listened to my complaints and without doing any tests they said that, oh, nothing is wrong with you, you're fine, you're the typical 7-8-year-old, you know. When I was 10, a doctor told me that I have an anxiety disorder, and that's the reason why I'm having chest pains, and that's the reason why my heart is always racing. My mom died of a heart condition in 2002. Throughout the years, through high school and community college, my symptoms got worse. I couldn't take it anymore, so I contacted a friend of mine who's a doctor, Dr. Gilbert Walcott, and I said, hey, what's the first step in getting this thing checked properly? I can't take this anymore. And he said, okay, let's do an ECG. We did the ECG and it showed that I have an abnormal heart rhythm. So he referred me to the cardiology clinic at KPH. They were full, so KPH sent me to UA. So when I went there, I did a series of tests. And the first test that I did was a treadmill stress test. And right after I finished that test, the Dr. Sandra Williams Phillips, she looked at me and she said, you might have the same condition that killed your mom. I was at the hospital often and was really at school, so I was missing school. I was stressed, I was scared, you know, and this affected me in school. My grades fell, you know. I was actually placed on academic probation at the end of my first semester I had a 1.98 GPA, you know, and then I did my first surgery in April 2012. After that surgery to implant the device, the day after that my lungs collapsed. They collapsed in my body. So, you know, the day after they had to cut me again while I was awake this time to put a tube inside of me to drain the excess fluid and air off my chest. That was fine, came out of the hospital, everything was fine. And then 2 weeks after, I got shocked by the device for the first time. Now, this device is an implantable cardioverter defibrillator. It basically monitors my every heartbeat and corrects the irregular ones. So when my heart is beating mildly irregular, I feel the therapy like a little bubbling in my chest, or I feel it pacing my heart to regulate it. But when my heart is racing really fast, where the battery detects that I'm at risk of going into sudden cardiac arrest, then it shocks my heart to calm it down. Now, in an episode, I'll get like 5 or 6 shocks, a couple seconds apart. And each of these shocks feel like a horse kicking me in the chest. So yeah, it's not a pleasant feeling, you know. So after that first experience of getting shocked, when I calmed down, you know, I just went on my phone and I was look on WhatsApp for my doctor's name, and I was like, dear sir, I am coming in on Monday and you remove this from my chest. I do not want it anymore. Sorry for the inconvenience, you know. I was like, listen, I don't want this. I don't want to live with this. I can't do this, you know. But he reassured me that, hey, we went through a lot to get this device. It was very expensive. We got it for $15,500 US and a discounted price back in 2012, you know. So he said, listen, this is saving your life, so you have to just live with it. Recovered after that. In October 2012, we had to do surgery again because my body was rejecting the device. The device is titanium. My body isn't used to that, you know, so it was pushing it out of my body. The device was actually tearing my skin to come out. So I had to go back in to put it deeper into the flesh. March 2013, I got shocked again. I was at risk of going into cardiac arrest, and the battery had to shock me to calm my heart down. Now, after those shocks, which were so intense, I was hospitalized because the shocks were so intense that the wire that goes down to my heart from the battery, it shifted, and it was trying to pierce my heart from the inside to go outside. So I was hospitalized for that. Fast forward to 2015, the battery started migrating. It got loose and it was started migrating further and further down. And in early 2018, we realized that it was too far down in my breast. It was causing a lot of pain and discomfort, sometimes inflammation and swelling. So they had to go in. June 18, they went in to do a surgery to lift it out of my breast and to secure it in place. Now, during that procedure, they used a mesh to wrap around the battery to secure it in my chest so it doesn't move again. But 2 weeks after that, 3 weeks after that, I felt a sharp pain, and we realized that a part of the mesh was digging into my flesh and was almost eroding my skin, to tear my skin to come out. So we had to go back in. So July 29, I did a surgery. The battery has a lifespan, so as time goes by, as soon as one runs out, I have to take it out and put a new one in, and I'll have to keep doing this until God says. This one has a lifespan of 12 years. I've had it in since 2012, so I probably have like 5.5 years left. No matter what it is you're going through, it could have been worse. So I look at my condition and I look at the bigger picture, I look at the world inside of Jamaica, within my own cardiology clinic at the UA hospital, and I said that people are there going through way worse than me, you know. So I tell myself that even though I'm going through all of this and I have this terrible heart condition, it's deadly, I also have mild scoliosis, I have cluster headaches, I'm mildly hypertensive, it still could have been worse. It's funny, you know, people might find it weird, but the other day someone asked me where I get my strength from. And it might sound weird, but I say fear. And when I say fear, I mean that I have a fear of dying young and not fulfilling my purpose. So I fight to live every day. I have a fear of dying, so I fight to live every single day. Every single day I get up is a struggle. I can't function without my medication, that's one. You know, so having to take medication, having to do regular tests and visits at the doctor, that's not easy, and it's not cheap either. I'm prohibited and limited in certain ways with this condition because having the battery in, this device in itself is it's a mechanical device, so I am affected by loudspeakers, chainsaws, drills, cell phones that trigger alarms when I go certain places, you know. I can't run, I can't be as active as I used to be, so I can't run, I can't dance, I can't exercise. While exercise may be good for the heart in certain ways, it speeds up the progression of my disease. So as it is, my condition will get worse over time, and exercise may speed up that progression, you know, in causing my heart to deteriorate faster than it already will. So I can't do that. Even having sex is a risk, you know, there's the risk of getting shocked, and if I'm getting shocked and I touch somebody, they'll get shocked too. So, you know, do that math, you know, having sex and, you know, yeah. Having kids, that's a risk as well. So, yeah. My dream was to become a dancer, you know, and doing the performing arts. I wanted to go to Edna Manley, but, you know, life had other plans, so I just went with the flow. And one thing that I take from this is that sometimes it is in your deepest pain and struggles that you can uncover and reveal hidden talents and hidden purpose. If I didn't have this heart condition and realizing that I can't dance anymore, I wouldn't have known that I have the potential to be a good media practitioner, a good news reporter, and somebody who can be a motivational speaker, you know. So through all of this, through every struggle, every adversity, there's something to be learned. It so happened that I had to sit out like 3 semesters, 3.5, almost 4 semesters. And it happened that every time it was nearing final exams was the time I had to go to the hospital for a surgery or something. To be honest, there were times I felt demotivated and discouraged and felt like, yo, I can't do this. Why is this so hard? Why is this happening to me? You know, but then I said, if God didn't know that I could manage it, He wouldn't have given it to me. You see, because of the challenges and every time I was so close to just putting my foot over the finish line, something pulled me back. Even at the day when I went to graduation, when they gave me the paper with my name on it, even when I stood at the stage, I didn't believe it was real until the person said Abi-Gaye Smythe, and I shook the president's hand and I collected that degree in my hand. I still didn't believe it. I was like, hey, after 7 years, I owed it to myself to walk across that stage. After 7 long years, I owed it to myself, and I owed it to my family and to everybody who supported me, and also to my mother who would have wanted me to finish. Even though life is hard at some point, there are challenges, there are struggles, there is still hope, there is still joy, there's still comfort, there's still peace, there is still better to come. You just have to ride out your storm. You know, your storm may last longer than someone else's, but you have to ride it out. It has to end one day, you know, and you'll be happy one day. So you just have to ride out your storm. Everybody has a purpose in this life. You just have to find yours and find the joy in fulfilling it. And you have to find the purpose in your pain. You have to find the betterness in your bitterness. You know, you have to just hold on and fight. And no matter how broken and damaged you are, there is something deep inside of you that can be a ray of hope to somebody else, and to even you, depending on how you look at it. I have a heart foundation that I started to raise awareness for heart disease, and one of my long-term goals, emphasis on the long term, to provide financial support for people in Jamaica living with heart disease. Living with heart disease is very expensive, and not a lot of people can afford the necessary treatment. So I want to help those people. If I can give 10 people $10,000, that's $10,000 less for them to worry about. Not everybody can find it. And every year, over 6,000 people die of heart disease in Jamaica, and half of these deaths, they can be prevented. You know, so I used to do school tours, and I tour high schools, I share my story, and I motivate these young people, and I also raise awareness for heart disease. You know, so I want to continue that. Now I use social media. For now I'm using social media platform to post statistics and facts about heart disease, but I want to kickstart my school tour again soon, where I tour high schools and I share my story and I raise awareness for heart disease. It has been overwhelming in a good way. I've been receiving so many messages. Sometimes I get so emotional to know that just sharing my story gives somebody else hope. You know, so I've been getting a lot of messages, and they're very heartwarming. And I feel so good to know that I'm helping people. Just by the things that I post on social media, they give people hope. So that's it's a fulfilling feeling for me.